So Zeno's paradox, very briefly, is an idea that you can't actually do anything because you can't have done something until you've partly done it, and you can't have partly done it until you've done the step before that. The classic example is that you can't finish a race until you have gone halfway through the race, and you can't go halfway through the race until you've gone a quarter, and so on. So with an infinite number of subdividable steps, we can't ever get anything done, because each one takes even an infinitesimally small amount of time. It takes an amount of time, so we can't ever progress. It's a joke because we can do things, we can complete tasks, the Earth can complete a circuit around the sun, and so on. So what can we actually learn from Zeno's paradox beyond just the surface level of, well, isn't that funny, I guess we can't get anything done? What we can learn is that that's not actually what time is like. That's not how a race is run, to put it that way. There is no movement of time. I speak about this in a lot of the videos. There is no movement of time. We move in this dimension of time. You've heard that before. Time is a dimension, the fourth dimension. Length, depth, height, time. We move in the fourth dimension in the same way that I'm moving my hand in a three-dimensional space. It also is taking time of fourth dimension to move. So when Zeno posits, well, we can't do anything because it's subdividable, he's subdividing a measurement. He's not subdividing the reality of time. That's the trick, that's the takeaway, is that you can subdivide a measurement absolutely infinitely, because you can always think of a higher number approaching the infinite. You can always think of a smaller number by putting that in the denominator of a fraction, 1 over infinity, infinite subdividability. So that obviously doesn't work because we can do things. So what does work is an understanding that time is a dimension no different in spatial quality than length, depth, and height. A measurement is a duration. A duration is what Zeno's talking about. The duration it takes to run a race, the duration it takes to throw a ball. So what we do is we reframe how we look at time. That Zeno's proposition in the paradox is wrong. It's only a paradox because it's not the way things actually are. Zeno is known and famous for something that's not even right. He knew it. This was the beginning of dialectic, to lead us to understand beyond just, isn't that a thinker? And all of these little things started falling into place about being present. Read a lot of Eckhart Tolle, meditating. And this is one puzzle piece in a puzzle of having an understanding of reality. We can read about reality all we want, but we are here to experience reality. If we're not, then what are we here for? What's the meaning of life? To live it. So, learning about time and perceiving my environment correctly, the way it really is one of the most worthwhile things I can do. It's learning how to use my senses and exist in the world consciously, because I exist here, I'm here, you're there, we're here together. Our minds should be here as well. The depiction we're seeing is a basic diagram of three-dimensional space plus an additional fourth dimension for time. X, Y, and Z are the typical three dimensions with which most people are familiar. We are adding W for time. Time has past and future with our conception of now, or the present, at the origin, in the same way that depth has here at the origin, and far out from that, and near somewhere in between. Note that time has past and future because we perceive this dimension outside of our control, unidirectionally. What's behind us we call the past, what's ahead of us we call the future. Far in the past or far in the future, it doesn't make a difference. It's still far, spatially. You may similarly think as something being spatially far off to the west or far to the east. A distance that we know, such as a meter or a parsec, is the same as a duration in time as a minute or a millennia. It's a span of measurement within a spatial dimension. Duration is the same thing as distance, and since measurements are numbers, they are always divisible, hence the trick behind Zeno's paradox. Actual movement within time simply is smooth, unlike something like stop-motion animation. Real physical movement doesn't skip frames or distances either, also unlike stop-motion, or even something with a higher frame rate like 60 FPS video or the cameras they use to video the movement of light. Think of it this way. Since smooth movement in 3D takes time, there's no reason to think that time itself, as another dimension, isn't exactly the same. Indivisible, a space, unlike our measurements of it. A dimension is a space for movement.